Namaste. A warm welcome to you, CATV viewers. It is catv.net, and we are bouncing back. And we want to focus on the global challenges. And we would like to focus on the solutions for global challenges. We want to impart knowledge from the eminent personalities who acquired vast knowledge. I'm sure the eminent personalities who visited our catv.net platform are going to address all the burning problems, issues, challenges. I'm sure we are going to have great solutions from them. And it is going to support us to look at or address the challenges of the globe where every citizen is facing nowadays. I would like to focus on these. A warm welcome to you, ma'am. Namaste from India. 1 second, ma'am. Here we have eminent personality, Sonesh Bharadwaj. I know ma'am's name, but still I want to introduce her in a proper way. So I'm looking at global motivational speaker, life and leadership coach, change maker. Not a joke. We have excellent, eminent personality, Sonesh Bharadwaj, who is a life coach and a change maker. So madam is going to address the challenges of the globe and the solutions at her level, at our level, we gain knowledge. Thank you very much, ma'am, for being here. Ma'am, I would like to ask, we know that we all faced in the year 2019 pandemic, and still some fear is there in the minds of the people. And pandemic taught many lessons, even for the common man, common person. So I would like to focus on the post-pandemic scenario, and I want to know much about the challenges during the pandemic and how the common people also overcome the pandemic, and at present, what kind of lessons taught us and how we have to lead a precious life and prosperous life in the post-pandemic period. I would like to hear from you, ma'am.
Wonderful. So first of all, Namaskar. I'm Engineer Sonesh Bharadwaj from India. And thank you so much, Dr. Carolyn, for such a wonderful, lovely introduction and inviting me on this wonderful CATV platform for addressing, I would say, the most pressing issues when we talk about at the global level. It is very important to understand how we actually lead these global difficult challenges. No doubt you have addressed 2019 when we talk about was probably the most faced and difficult time which was faced by the world economy, world people at all the levels, because I have seen pandemic has impacted in all the major sectors. There's not even a single sector which we can say that it was not impacted by the influence of pandemic, though it was all of sudden and none of us we were ready that how we will be tackling. But there is a saying, when you have a great will, positive thought process, you can win mountains. And probably that is pretty much we all have driven by the thought process in our mind. I've seen in pandemic people with lots and lots of money were helpless because they were not getting oxygen cylinders. They have seen their loved ones, their son, daughter, husband, wife, dying in their hands, and they were so helpless, crying for, I would say, one breath of life. I've seen best to best people who actually have stated that we died on the hospital bed and their loved one has died up on the hospital bed. Even the dead body, they didn't receive it just to do the final rituals for their, loved ones. It was pathetic, no doubt about it, but probably, as I always state that anything which comes to our life is not simply by coincidence. It comes us to teach something very powerful. And as humans, if we need to understand is there is a great lesson we all need to learn from that happening around us. Now, we as human, we are very greedy. We always want everything has to be best around us, right? And that's the reason, in one way, we have grown so much technologically. We have grown financially. If today you see the kind of generation which is coming, I love this generation in terms of the fast-paced ideas. But you know the irony? They have zero tolerance to certain things. Patience levels are extremely down. Retention power has gone to an absolute pathetic level. They are completely surrounded by very very simple thing called anxiety, blood pressure, heart failure at a very very young age. They even don't see what life is all about and they lose their life. So in one way, for me, technology is a boon. I would say it's a kind of blessing to us. But then at the same time, if you don't use it wisely, this can again create danger to us. So pandemic, when I talk about, for me, when I start actually, for me, if I have to tell you as a person, I was always been a personality who loved to work behind scenes because I felt ground level touching the humanity, and especially the social work makes more impact because that's where people need you. We don't need social media handles and highlight our visibility just to ensure people we are so and so. I think the best connect can ever be when you be on ground level reality, see and share the pain with people, and then utilize and see what people are suffering through. I've seen near to my surroundings because there were so many labor families were there. I've seen them during that pandemic. Even one time food was a very, very challenging situation because they lost their work because they are daily wages workers.
Yes.
It was so pathetic. We all were suffering, and I was only, I asked one of the kid out of that labor family because, labor family will usually have very small, small kids, three, four in a go, and I asked to their mother that you are not even masking them. They are so small. If they get caught with this deadly disease, you don't have even money to, go and get some medicine. Why don't you take precaution? You know what she said? Very powerful message. She said, remember one thing. This pandemic, mark my word, will never hit somebody who is on footpath. This will only is going to influence people who are super rich. And
That's true.
every day my blessing used to I used to literally pray in front of God, nothing should happen to these kids, right? And trust me, throughout the whole pandemic for 2 years, I have never seen them having proper mask, proper diet, nothing of that sort. By God blessing, nothing has happened to any one of the kids because they were so small. If you look at them, you'll feel. I said, like, what made this lady to speak like with such a great confidence? She says, see, we have given this blessing. We only think about every day, one time good food. And if we get that, we always thank our Almighty that at least by someone's grace, we are able to survive our daily thing. Whether we will survive tomorrow or day after tomorrow, we are least bother. But today we want to live the best. I learned something so powerful from this lady that we cry so much around our life. I don't have this, I don't have that, I have to get this, I have to get that. Look at what is the living style these people are living with. And so charmingly, I mean, in her eyes, I was literally able to see the glitter when she was talking to me. She said, I don't care about what will happen tomorrow. Even if we die, I don't, I'm not worried about. All I worried about, I should live my today in the best possible way. I said, okay, how you are managing food? Because see, what used to happen that point of time, whatever was into my best capacity, I used to just go and help them through dry ration kits. She said, tell me one thing. Do you know me? I said, no. And in fact, I don't understand her language because she's a South Indian lady. She doesn't understand Hindi. I just go, hand over the kit. She very, very blessingly, she takes that kit and she said, see, God has sent you in the form, some form to me because I always thank God on a daily basis. I learned so beautifully that it's not about what is going to be a pandemic. It's all about how we deal with that pandemic. So your second question, that what are the lessons, what are the learnings. I think I have seen major change, especially in the Indian learning system. Online learning has gone to a next level, which was a taboo in Indian market, because we as Indian parents always used to say, no, kids don't study. And what they are going to study, it's simply a wastage of money here and there. But I think today online virtual sessions has really gone on to the vast level to support the education system in India. That is the first learning. Number two, I have seen people has become extremely good about mental health, because now they care. And I have seen people don't die with major diseases or major injuries. People are getting death today because of emotional void. They don't have that one person around them with whom they can share their feelings, their heart to heart conversation. And it's very bad, right now, to see that we don't stay with our grandparents, right? Because you can call it any reason, because of our career, because of our XY growth thing, we have supposed to move to metropolitan cities. So when you don't have that kind of people around you, you miss the very, very important chunk of emotional connect. And I think that's where our young generation is losing the whole connect to roots, cultural belief system. They are losing their mind here and there with a small, I've seen small thing is creating panic mode in them. They don't understand what is called feeling attachment. They sometimes randomly give some dialogues to their parents without even thinking what can go wrong with their parents. They feel, it's their responsibility. No, just because they are your parents is not their responsibility. God has sent them as a medium to you. Now you should know how to respect it. Even you have certain kind of give and take policy with them. You are not simply there in your life, because we don't choose our parents, we don't choose our kids. This is always a blessing given by the Almighty to us,
That's true.
as we have our certain accounts with them to clear off. And if we clear them beautifully in a good way with a good heart, I think we do justice to the mankind. So I think the second greatest learning I've seen after pandemic, people start connecting emotionally a lot. They start thinking about mental health. And even physical health has gone into a very good way. Now certain people I ask, hey, you earn so much. What are you doing? They say, I'm saving. I said, okay, what will you do by saving? No, I'll have a big car, build a big house. I want to roam here and there. I said, do you know what will happen tomorrow? They say, are you scaring us? I said, no, I'm just making you practically aware. Life is so unpredictable. Don't waste intention. Don't think too much about what will happen 5 years down the line. We even don't know what will happen 5 months down the line. So why are you worrying?
That's true.
Just be easy, take it easy, and have one belief system. Because see, our belief system has to be so strong. Today, any power you believe. I am so blessed that I have people from all the walks of life around me. Hindu, Muslim, community wise, you any religion you talk. I think the best beauty is they come with their blessing heart. Any religion we take today, so beautifully they define that how we can believe a supreme power and still live a very, very happy life. So I think these are very, very tough lessons, but these are very, very precious lessons which we have learned across the globe. So today I found people are more easy. They start paying attention towards family, values, roots, and I've seen people are turning out to be slightly more spiritual, which is the need of the hour actually,
Yes.
because they are starting looking for awakening. They start joining a lot of spiritual session, and I feel so good and happy about them. At least something is getting enlightened in them. So I think these are the changes which I feel is actually bringing the major change which we are looking. And currently on global dynamics, if we talk about, everywhere you must have heard about mpox, that is monkeypox we talk about. People are getting again panic because this is the second pandemic they are assuming we might hit on. But as I mentioned, right now I think they are very bold. They are mentally prepared, as they
Yes,
have already seen the first phase.
that's true.
Yes.
Even I have experienced about what you said, that the poor people, underprivileged community, and they were not scared of this mask and all. Only people who are in ACs, polished in life, who doesn't know how to face the life. They were not living along with the nature. So when we forget the nature, we will be weak mentally, physically. So when,
So true.
yeah, I used to visit slums and support the poor community. I asked
Right.
the same question when you are speaking that I remember, recalled that.
Right.
So I asked the same thing. Why kids are roaming here and there without mask? Take it, take it. They said
Right.
nothing. The person in the slum said, "Ma'am, look at around the slum." Then
Right.
what happened? Around the slum, you find big buildings. There,
Right.
COVID cases are here. There, he showed all the rich buildings. People are suffering from COVID, but we people, this slum, not a single case you can notice. Why? They sit under the sun. They sit in front of the house because the house is only one single unit house. They all cannot be accommodated. They will be sitting outside. So they get exposed to the sun, fine breeze, maybe little filthy environment, but still they have good breeze. And they're not under AC. And they are hardworking people. Physically, they are strong. And every day they have to focus on their daily bread. So mentally strong, emotionally strong. So they didn't fall prey to the COVID. Then I
And I
said,
think their biggest statement I have learned from them, they said, see, we are already broken. What maximum will go from our hand? There is nothing to lose which we have.
"Yeah,
So when you don't have anything to lose, you become fearless and you become the most powerful soul. Because that's where we have to learn in life. Anything can go in a fraction of second, right from top to zero bottom. So how
yes,
to start from there? I think if this we can master and we can at least go and get into this mindset can really help us.
that's true. I would like to pose another question from you as you are a
Yes.
life coach. I want to give us certain knowledge to have a great takeaways, especially for the younger generation. And as a psychologist, I will be addressing the problems which are facing by the younger generation, youth especially. They are falling prey to the depression and
Right.
suicidal tendency, unable to cope up anything, unable to control the emotions. So, how do you view them the knowledge that how can they take good takeaways from your wisdom which you are sharing now?
Wonderful question. And I think this is something is a very, again, a pressing issue generally in the young generation. As I mentioned, today generation is more technology oriented. Today generation have better money income levels as compared to if I compare my generation or my parents' generation or even my our grandparents' generation, right? That time money was not the factor. People used to live for each other because they have been so emotionally bonded to each other. Today generation actually have created the status symbol that if we don't have money, it means our value is zero. If I am not able to run the same rat race which my probably relatives are running, or my friends are running, it means I am useless. And these kind of thought process actually is the real cause why people are getting lots and lots of suicidal thought, or they are getting into depression, they're getting into clinical depression, they get into a deep sorrow way when they have a kind of heart failure. To my surprise, I get lots of youngster because I train a lot of university college students, right? So when they become slightly, when I'm in the session, and as a life coach, as you mentioned, right, so these people come and talking, ma'am, what we should do if we have a love failure? I said, please define me what is the definition of love for you, first of all. Are you saying love is just that physical attraction, you look at someone and you get it? Is that is what something you are trying to say? That is not called love. Or if you're saying you like somebody way of dressing, or you like somebody way because they are rich, even that is not called love. These are certain external parameters which is just sparking and just igniting that whole charm of so called love in you, and that's where you go wrong. So, in a simple way, I think what they are supposed to be, they have to be mentally more mature. They need to understand life has to be practical, not to be on a very fairy tale kind of look. And I think parents also has a slightly role to play here. Parents should push their kids slightly more onto the mental and physical level of hard work. I understand today we have one son, one daughter. Parents give them everything because they want to give them the best life. I think somewhere even that thought process should not be there. It's good you have accumulated, you have created wealth for your son and daughter, but please don't make them handicapped. They are capable of doing so many things.
That's true.
So that is very, very important that we actually teach them everything is having a meaning, and it takes really lots and lots of hard work and sweat to create every single penny in your life. Because I'm sure, when you learn this art of earning for yourself, you become so countable. I remember till my college days when I was with my parents, I used to, like, before even speaking, everything was there in front of me. And when I decided to move to a different state and city for my career, I know I have to now earn every single penny because I decided to take care of my entire expenses.
Yes.
That time I become more mature, financially more independent, and I start realizing, my God, sometimes how parents understand our situation even without speaking, and how difficult it is. But still, they don't speak anything. So I think my bond with my parents and my family become more stronger at that point of time, though they were not next to me.
Absolutely. Okay,
But
video
that
call
made
is
me so many things.
Mm.
Yeah. So I think on a concluding factor for this, it's very simple. They need to be more connected to the roots. They need to be more in terms of practical, facing the reality checks
Conclude,
rather than
please.
being into fancy life.
Nice. Really, you have given amazing takeaways for the younger generation, especially, man. Really delighted. I'm
Thank
so
you.
happy to be connected with you. And I would like to express my gratitude that pandemic made us to meet, connect each other, and share our thoughts and work for the welfare of the nation.
Right.
We parents have to see that our children should not be in comfort zone. Let them
True.
face the challenges and lead a prosperous life, helping others who are in
True.
distress, lifting
True.
them, helping them to lead a very truthful life. That is very important. Thank you very much, ma'am, for being with us.
Thank you so much, Dr. Caroline. Thank you so much, CATV, once again for inviting me and sharing my views and opinion onto such an important thing. And yes, it's always been my pleasure to be with you, sharing my views, my insights, love, light, and abundance to everyone. Thank